been limited to approximately 3 minutes per person, because we do have other city business that we need to try to get to tonight. So if there's any concerns from any citizens in the city of Kingsland, you may do so. If you are a citizen in the city of Kingsland, you may come to the podium.
Good evening. For the record, my name is Pastor McKnight. I'm sure you all know who I am by now. This is
Please,
my
no
fourth time.
flags, please. No flags.
This is my fourth time addressing the city council. On June 20th, again, Tony Green was killed by a Kingsland police officer. And since that time, we have sent numerous emails, coming to the city council to request questions to be answered. I've done what you all have asked of us to do as a committee, to put our concerns in writing. And still to this day, approximately 70 days since Tony was killed by a Kingsland police officer, no response has come from the city council or the mayor. So I have a big problem with that. And on Friday, I received an email from the Kingsland city attorney. And I want to read what he sent me. Dear Pastor Knight, please consider this a response to your August 14, 2018 email. August 14, 2018 correspondence and attempts to engage City of Kingsland officials regarding a matter that is the subject of an ongoing criminal investigation by the G.B.R. Apart from that investigation, the City of Kingsland has received multiple anti-litigation notices indicating civil litigation may be filed as a result of the unfortunate.
Thank you. It's now 6 p.m. and at this time we have a public hearing, and we have 3 items on the public hearing tonight to bring up. And the first one is scheduled public hearing expansion of the Downtown Development Authority boundary. The City of Kingsland Planning Commission has recommended expansion of the Downtown Development Authority boundary. Notice is hereby given that a public hearing on the proposed boundary expansion is scheduled for Monday, August 27th at 6 p.m. Is anyone here with any concerns on the expansion? Okay. The next one is notice of zoning text amendment, section 181.18. The City of Kingsland Planning and Zoning Commission has recommended the zoning text amendment to section 181.18 of the erosion and settlement control plan. Notice is hereby given that a public hearing on the proposed amendment is scheduled for 27th. Any concerns on that? Next is notice of public hearing for rezoning of portion K1701003. The City of Kingsland Planning Commission has recommended the rezoning of a portion of parcel K1701003 from R1 to C2. Notice is hereby given that a public hearing on the proposed rezoning is scheduled for August 27th. 2018 at 6 p.m. Thank you. So I will conclude this notice at 6:02 p.m. And the next item will be calling our meeting to order and to welcome our guests here with us tonight. Thank you all for attending, and hope that the meeting will be of benefit to each and every one that's here tonight. Thank you. The next item is our invocation and pledge to the flag. The invocation will be by Brother Al from the Rector of King and Peace Episcopal Church, Kingsland.
us pray. Gracious God, we give you thanks and praise for the blessing of another day. I thank you, Lord, for the gathering this evening of all who are coming together for the discussions that will take place. And I pray especially for our elected officials, city employees, and citizens who are here this evening. We ask, Lord, for your direction in our thoughts and in our discussions throughout the entirety of this meeting, and thank you for setting us at the task that you have given us. Please bless all who are present, and especially grant our leaders wisdom and grace in exercising the duties of providing for the needs of our community. Now, gracious God, as we give you thanks and praise, we ask that you please accept this, our humble prayer, where we acknowledge your guiding presence and give you all the glory. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. And House, would you come up, please? Yes, sir. We know that you're planning to leave, but I think the council has other ideas, so we'll thank you for sending that, keep you. So, but the city would like to thank you for all of that, everything that you did coming to us and trying to bring peace within the walls to us through our meetings. And Father Al is leaving for a new assignment in Augusta, Georgia, beginning in September. And we just want to thank you for everything that you and your family has done for the community and providing peace and a lot more in the community for children and families alike.
Thank you.
So at this time, we would like to present to you as a tip of appreciation. We hereby express our sincere appreciation to Reverend Al Crumpton, rector of King of Peace Episcopal Church, for your faithful years of outstanding and dedicated service to the city of Kingsland, 27th of August 27, 2018.
Thank you. Sir, it's been an honor and pleasure. Thank you all for not only to be here. I'll miss you, but I look forward to you and your son soon. Bless you all. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Next item is on roll call, and let the record reflect that all members are present at this time. Next item is our consent docket to approve the council minutes of the last regular council meeting, approve the agenda as presented, approve the payments of accounts payable as due and funds available. Are there any items for addition or deletion? Not call for motion.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Councilman Day, second by Councilman Galloway. Any other discussions? If not, call for vote.
Michael McLean, yes. Jim McLean, yes. Galloway, yes. Yes.
Thank you. Consent docket stands approved. Next is a recognition period at this time. And at this time, I believe we have another award for our finance department. This is the 19th year that finance department and the city has received this award. Chicago's Government Office of Finance Officers Association is pleased to announce that the city of Kingsland, Georgia has received the GFOA's Distinguished Budget Presentation Award for its budget. The award represents a significant achievement by the entity. It reflects the commitment of the governing body and staff to meeting the highest principles of governmental budgeting. In order to receive the budget award, the entity had to satisfy nationally recognized guidelines for effective budget presentation. These guidelines are designed to assist how well an entity's budget serves as a policy document, a financial plan, an operation guide, a communication device. So this finance director Next item is granting audience to the public. And if there's anyone that would like to come before the council with any concerns, you may do so at the podium, giving us your name and address, please. And at this time, we have pretty much a packed house, so we like to say that we're out there limited to approximately 3 minutes per person, because we do have other city business that we need to try to get to tonight. So if there's any concerns from any citizens in the city of Kingsland, you may do so. If you are a citizen in the city of Kingsland, you may come to the podium.
Good evening. For the record, my name is Pastor Matt Knight. I'm sure you all know who I am by now. This is my
Please, no
full-time.
blankets, please. No blankets.
This is my full-time addressing the city council. On June 20th, again, Tony Green was killed by a Kingsland police officer. And since that time, we have sent numerous emails, coming to the city council to request questions to be answered. I've done what you all have asked of us to do as a committee, to put our concerns in writing. And still to this day, approximately 70 days since Tony was killed by a Kingsland police officer, no response has come from the city council or the mayor. So I have a big problem with that. And on Friday, I received an email from the Kingsland city attorney. I want to read what he sent me. Dear Pastor Knight, please consider this a response to your August 14, 2018 email. August 14, 2018 correspondence and attempts to engage City of Kingsland officials regarding a matter that is the subject of an ongoing criminal investigation by the G.B.R. Apart from that investigation, the City of Kingsland has received multiple anti-litigium notices indicating civil litigation may be filed as a result of the unfortunate death of Anthony Green, which his name is Tony Green. In the light of the ongoing criminal investigation by the G.B.R. as well as multiple anti-litigium notices, city officials are simply not in a position to sit down and have discussions with you or others that would inevitably lead to matters touching upon both the ongoing criminal and imminent civil litigation. As you know, with regard to the criminal investigation, Chief Griffiths immediately requested that the G.B.R. conduct an independent investigation of this matter, even though it was the first officer-involved shooting in the history of Kingsland Police Department. Since that time, the city has cooperated with the G.B.R. and will continue to do so. However, in an effort to address part of your inquiry, I know that you can obtain some of the information requested from the city's website. Then I'll end there. My response back to the mayor and to the city council today. I am in response to your email and your letter in reference to my email, the letter that I sent to the city officials of Kingsland, Georgia. You started your letter off by saying, I am attempting to engage the officials of Kingsland in a matter that is ongoing by the G.B.R. I am confused as to your response because I have never attempted to engage the city officials in answering or giving any details to any ongoing investigation. So it is obvious that you've been misunderstood and misinformed as to what I'm trying to engage the city officials into. I totally understand the ramifications and the integrity of the ongoing case that is under investigation. However, like I constantly ask and incorporate the city officials, and now to you, we're not asking about the case that is going to be handled through the hands of the judicial system. What I am and the committee is requesting is a sit-down meeting, not about the case. I want to make sure everybody understands that. I'm not asking about the case. I understand you cannot comment on the case. For the fourth time, me coming, I understand that. Now you are relating that to your city attorney, that I'm asking you all to sit down and have a meeting about the case. That's not what we're doing. We're asking for 5 things. Can we have a meeting to sit down and strategize some plans and procedures for moving forward? Not about the case. What are the hiring procedures and policies for the Kingsland Police Department? Not about the case. What are the procedures when an officer has red flags in their background and they are still hired? Not about the case. What continual trainings are done with the police department? And then the 5th one, what is a policy for coming to the city hall and asking to speak with the city manager or the city clerk and being told whatever I need to put it in writing? Not about the case. So we are still 70 days after the shooting of Tony Green by a Kingsland police officer and have not yet been informed
That's
of
it.
our situation. Sir,
3 minutes. Thank you.
thank you.
Well, I know, if the city council will address me, I will address your issue what you about.
Are you a citizen in Kingsland?
I am a taxpayer. Listen,
Are you a taxpayer?
Let me,
Please,
yes, I am.
please answer me.
Okay, here you go.
No.
I bought the city of Kingsland.
No, sir.
No, sir. I bought y'all some bag of potato chips.
No.
I bought
No.
I bought y'all a bag of
Please
potato
leave.
chips. Listen,
Please,
listen,
I'm
your
asking
charter,
you
your charter
to
says,
please leave the podium.
But listen, okay,
If
I'll
you
leave.
are not a citizen,
but your
a
charter, listen,
resident,
council,
a
your
taxpayer,
charter says
I'm asking
taxpayers
you,
are
please
residents.
leave, please leave. Asking
Taxpayers
you,
are
please
residents.
leave, please leave, okay?
I'll see you in court, dog.
Thank you.
By the way, your
Go
mayor
ahead.
is behind
Go
with his
ahead.
debt, and I'm about to file a warrant for his arrest
Go
tomorrow.
ahead.
See you, sir.
Thank you.
I'll see you in court.
And one else,
Yes.
if you are a citizen in the city and a taxpayer, you may speak
You got it wrong
in
one.
the city limits. You're in the city limits, you're a citizen. I need to clarify that, okay? Do you live within the city limits of the taxpayer?
I'm in the county.
If you are a citizen in the city and a taxpayer, you may speak
You got it wrong
in
one.
the city limits. You're in the city limits, you're a citizen. I need to clarify that, okay? Do you live within the city limits of the taxpayer?
I'm in the county. I'm not in the city.
I understand, sir. If you please work with us,
I know.
this is what we have to work with.
Okay.
I understand, okay?
So, I can't speak, right?
No,
All
sir.
right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
reside at 230 Northwest Road, so I am a citizen of Kingsland. And I wrote a poem I would like to share with the mayor and the city council. And it's called How Can We Make a Wrong into a Right When People Don't Feel That We Have to Fight? How can we get people to understand that injustice is not part of God's plan? How can you, mayor, and the city council sit so silent when the act of a man being shot several times is so violent?
All right, you can do it, Miss.
How can we get you, Mayor, to see that you're elected by people's choice, and now we demand that you hear our voice? We, the concerned citizens, are asking, how can we change policies, practices, and procedures so one day we can rest assured that our children may have a future? Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mayor Kenneth Smith. My name is Raiden Walder, and I'm a senior at Camden County High School.
I'm sorry, sir, I didn't take up your name.
My name is Raiden Walder, and I'm a senior at Camden County High School. And
Where do you reside?
I do reside in Kingsland at 113 Fiddler's Cove Drive, Kingsland, Georgia. As stated 2 weeks ago at the last city council meeting, Mr. Smith, you lead the Martin Luther King Jr. Parade every year in downtown Kingsland. As some of you may know, Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "He who passively accepts evil is as much involved in it as those who help perpetrate it. He who accepts evil without protesting against it is really cooperating with it. By not issuing a statement and condemning and answering the questions about the cold-blooded murder of Toady Green is acting in compliance and is equal to siding with evil. As a Kingsland constituent and as a student who fights for equality, I hope and expected better from you, your council, and the Kingsland Police Department. I've heard people of all races, religions, and political affiliations condemn this murder, but I've heard nothing from you. It's disheartening and honestly upsetting. There's an upcoming election where you're going to have a very tough race to begin with, and by turning your back on your constituents, people of color, and people who have supported you from the very beginning is not going to help you win. I hope you consider what I've said and actively try to reverse the actions you've taken. But if not, see you in the polls on November 6th. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else? Any other public comments from any citizen?
My name is Brittany Rudolph, and I reside at 157 Woodhaven Drive. Before I begin to list my concerns as a citizen of Kingsland, I first want to address the officers in the building. Was Zachariah Presley fit to police our streets? Have you ever heard the term that silence is complicity? A man who stands for nothing will fall for anything. If there are such law-upholding officers on the Kingsland Police Force, why have none of them been compelled to speak out? It is a known fact that in March 2018, Zachariah Presley was given a 2.8 out of 5, which is considered unsatisfactory, suspended without pay in January 2018 for reckless driving, fleeing and eluding police officers in 2012 before he was even hired as an officer, admitted aggressor of a domestic violence situation, countless citizens' complaints, one being that of an 8-month pregnant, 30-year citizen of Kingsland whom said she feared for her life, that of her unborn and her husband. A traffic stop with Officer Presley resulted in the relocation of said citizen. His supervising officer is quoted in saying he needs to improve his judgment making. Even following this, a letter from city manager Lee Spell was notated in his account, "You will use better judgment in the future." To our city council and government, we are not the enemies. We are the citizens of the community and should be treated as first priority by the city. Council members are supposed to dedicate official time to problems of basic policy and act as liaisons between the city and the general public, protecting the welfare of the city and its inhabitants and providing community leadership. Mr. Smith, Mr. McLean, Mr. Day, Mr. Galloway, you have failed the city of Kingsland. You have failed to show community leadership. Nothing has been done to establish trust and security in the community. No answers when asked about forming a citizens oversight panel. The transparency promised to us by the KPD has been a lie. How can we as a community live in peace when we are treated as enemies in the very city where we raise, our children pay taxes and live? It wasn't a rogue cop that killed Tony Green. It was a long history of systematic oppression and racism that has plagued this community for decades. The fact is that until black lives matter more than white comfort, children in our community will continue to lose their fathers. Mothers will continue to lose their sons. Sisters will lose their brothers. Kingsland City Council, I hope that before you lay down for bed at night, you see those 3 babies' faces who no longer have someone to call their father. I hope that you are ashamed of yourselves as city leaders who refuse to respond to the cries of the citizens of said city. In Malcolm's words, we need more light about each other. Light creates understanding. Understanding creates love. Love creates patience. Patience creates unity. Quit keeping us in the dark.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Reverend James Sam, 125 Chestnut Court. I told y'all that I would come back and get some information and get these 2 groups together. Then on the 30th of September, there's going to be a meeting in Griffin, Georgia, community talk, and I'm going to try to get them to go there. Again, the matter is us working together and respecting each other. Church, color, that's not the issue. It's just respect. And that's what we need to do. We can respect each other. We can get something done, but we can't throw it under the bus or under the rug. We got to do it. I've already prayed. It's time to talk.
That's right.
Okay. There's nothing else. At this time, there is no business. The next item is planning and zoning.
And his wife. That's why we need to do the protest in front of his house. There's nothing in law that protect them that we can't do. He brought it to our neighborhood and he killed Tony. We need to take it to his neighborhood. And talk about him in front of his wife and kids. And his wife. That's why we need to do the protest in front of his house. There's nothing in law that protect them that we can't do. He brought it to our neighborhood and he killed Tony. We need to take it to his neighborhood. Murderer! Y'all bust him out. Talk to him. Talk about it. And listen, every social media account, everybody that got social media is the #1 source of getting things around. The mayor don't know it, but he gonna be live tonight. All stop. His ass gonna be on Instagram, Twitter, and any other thing else I can think of. Facebook, Facebook, Mama Book. Is the mayor got the mange? Y'all need to give him some old. Y'all ready? No peace. No justice, no peace, no peace. No justice. No peace, no peace. No justice. No peace, no peace. No justice. No peace, no peace. No peace, no peace. No justice. 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 No peace, no peace. Hold up, y'all. Y'all know y'all can go louder than that.
I'm about to lose my voice.
Y'all listen. We need to be so loud. We need to be so loud to sacrifice president.
Thank you for the horn boys. For the horn boys. No peace. No peace. No peace. Ho, ho. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Man, chief, they got to go. Hey, hey.
They about to go. They don't know it though. Because the ass coming to court.
Hey, how y'all doing? God bless you.
I'm George Boss Rhymes. I just was in council meeting. This beautiful sister here, what's your name?
Brittany Rudolph.
Brittany Rudolph, you really spoke very powerful. You laid apples and oranges out. In other words, the historic document concerning the officer that shot Tony, you laid it out. How did you lay it out short form here so they really can hear the gist of what you said tonight?
Well, last city council meeting, the mayor found it important to read a letter from St. Mary's police force, basically saying that the officer in question was only not hired because they didn't have space for him. I just wanted to outline all of the red flags that were done while he was a part of the Kingsland police force, and just, you know, bring notice to what they're doing. They're basically trying to silence us. They don't want us to speak. They don't want us to get any coverage. They don't want us to get justice for Tony Green. They're covering up a murder. This is long, systematic oppression that's been going on in this community for so long. So it's something this situation has made it come to light, and people are now seeing just how much racism is a part of this community.
Okay, well, you did it so well, and I'm going to have that in the video. I'm going to separate the major council meeting with the powerful words that came from you and others. What I don't understand as well, Bobby, step into it, please. What I don't understand also, and I do this all the time across the state of Georgia, what I don't understand, how could the mayor tell people that they could not bring a sign in? I've seen people permitted to bring signs in other meetings. In Gordon, Georgia, you've seen the signs. They have them all over the place. I know they got different ordinances, but my question is, do you see any difference here with this mayor in the state of Georgia compared to others that you've been in, Bobby? None at all. Actually, I see it a little bit worse because the mayor himself doesn't know his own charter. Because I tried to explain it to him, he wouldn't even understand it. The wording of the charter, and that's what you get when you got these guys that we call bootlickers, Uncle Toms, the one that's got brains the size of a BB. They're rolling down a 6-lane highway. I just want to know if you can see it. But that's what happened when ignorance take over and your personal interests take over. And the mayor has a personal vendetta. And if he has a personal vendetta, then he need to relieve himself of his duties, because tomorrow I'm gonna relieve him of his duties. Bobby, I noticed you did something that I've never seen before. Why did you attempt to bring a meal for the city council? Seemed like me, you brought potato chips and you brought some more food items. Why did you bring food for these people? What, I mean, is he a friend of yours or what? Well, I brought it because the mayor is not letting people speak, because the charter says if you can only speak at the city council meeting if you're a taxpayer or a resident. Thus, it doesn't define taxpayer, so I purchased 5 bags of potato chips and a soda. I automatically became a taxpayer. Another question. Do you believe that if, some people may see this as hypothetical, but I don't mean it to be hypothetical, but if Secretary of State Brian P. Kemp, or if the governor came and want to address city council meeting, or if the mayor from another city came here and wanted to address the council, and they're not a resident here, would they be permitted to stand before the county, for the mayor? In fact, if the president, Trump, came here, would he be able to address the council because he don't have a resident here? I mean, what gives? Well, I don't think they would not deny them, but technically, if that's the way you want to put it, then they can't speak neither. But what they don't realize, being a citizen of the United States of America gives me a right to address any public official in the performance of his duties, and that's what the mayor gonna find out tomorrow when I take that warrant out on his ass. Now, you say take a warrant out on him. You can't just go around and take a warrant out on him. Why would you, under what grounds would you try to take a warrant out on him? Violation of his oath of office, conspiracy, and violation of his ethics. Because when the mayor came in town, when the mayor first signed up, he signed his oath of office fraudulently because he has a public debt. Him and one other city councilman, will be revealed tomorrow, has a public debt. And by Georgia Constitution, by the law, you cannot hold public office if you got public debt. And I just pulled this up last night to confirm it. So he'll find out tomorrow.
Bobby, why would you do this when we see a lot of people? I was in the meeting tonight, and I watched how the majority of people seems to not agree or could care less about the issues that were brought before them. I watched when she spoke, I saw some people applaud, but I saw some people stood there as if though it didn't even affect them. So do we have two Kingsland, or what do you think here?
I think most people are not concerned unless it's affecting them and their family members. They don't care what's going on in their community unless it's affecting their family or them. And it just, people just don't want to get involved.
The pastor gone already. I had I call pastor over. I want the pastor to explain. I want the pastor to explain. He said from the time this young man was killed that nothing, no town hall meeting in terms of elected officials coming to address. Didn't he say something like that?
Yes.
That's what I want him to talk about.
Well, I'm going to address this now, the thing before the pastor come up. This is what you got to realize. A public duty is a public trust. He is elected by the people. Thus, the power comes from the people. And he has a duty. He has a duty to his oath of office to answer to the citizens that empowered him.
Well, Bobby, I also heard another sister, she may be gone already. She said that every time there's a meeting out here, that she sends the local news media, TV stations, that
I've been reaching out.
Explain that because she said they don't respond, and they are not here tonight.
I've been reaching out to the local news media since the arrest of the brother 2 weeks ago at the city council meeting, and I have really gotten no feedback from them. They really don't respond to me. I got one response, and they were like, oh yeah, just keep us updated. But they haven't said anything about it. But then I watch the news, and they have things about turtles dying, and water being polluted, but they're human beings dying in the local community, and you're not giving that local news.
Okay, I want to say this to you all as a member of the social media press, is that I don't want you all to be so upset with your television station, because this is statewide. Whenever something come up in the black community, it's considered as no news. Right. We have black elected officials that are elected by voters. They are attacked. Voters are suppressed. They are intimidated, and then they are removed from office. The white-dominated, the white-controlled, and the white-owned news media will not report the news in the black community. And the reason why I do this, and I go beyond the code of ethics that I'm supposed to maintain, I do that because St. John 8:32 says, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth gonna make you and set you free. Right. So if these people in these communities are not getting the truth, then we'll never be free. My pastor, the question I want to ask you, what's your name again?
Brittany Rudolph.
What's your name?
Bobby Worthy.
Brother Pastor, what's your name?
Pastor Knight.
And Brother Knight, the question I want to ask you is this. You mentioned the fact that since the time Tony Green was killed or murdered, that what has the mayor and council done for the community in terms of clarifying or just addressing the issue? Because you brought that up tonight. Close me out with that comment.
Absolutely nothing. They have not done nothing. Zero, zilch.
And you've called them on that before, haven't you?
Yes, this is my 4th time addressing the city council since June 20th. Probably 8th time addressing Mayor Smith. I've talked to him personally in his office, on his telephone, and in the store. Talked to Chief Griffiths personally and addressed the city council 4 times, saying they should have said something by now to the family and to the community, and then we wouldn't have this uproar that we keep having at the city council meetings. And for the life of me, I can't understand. If I was a mayor and I was trying to give peace in my meetings, I would give these people what they want. And all we want is a seat at the table with an unbiased biracial citizens review board. We want to know about the hiring and procedures of a city police officer when they already have red flags. So these were simple questions that we asked the mayor and the city council, not about the case. We just want to know where do we go from here. And they refused to even answer, to come up with some strategies and some implementations on how we can move forward from this incident. So they refused. So to me, it's a slap in the face to the black community, and we have a black mayor. So I'm really appalled and livid at a black mayor should be representation of the people, but he won't say anything. So since he's silent, we're going to be silent November the 6th.
So you say to the black community, or do you mean the black, white, right community? Because there was white people out here.
That is so true.
And so we got to make a
The black, white, right.
Right, what I call them. And I say this, and some people don't understand this. Some blacks don't want me to say it,
That's
but
right.
as Jesus spoke, and that's what I stand on, is that if white people, not all of them,
Right.
white people have stood up for me
Yes.
before I knew what the fight was all about.
That's right.
So I'm going to give those white people the just due.
That's right.
Because they are showing forth the exemplification
Yes, they are.
of what Jesus said a Christian is supposed to be
Supposed
about.
to do.
Now,
That's right.
if our police officers, somebody addressed that tonight, if we have black police officers, and if they know they got a worm or a Klansman in their department, and this is what is happening across the nation.
Yes.
A lot of them are being exposed now.
That's right.
Because they are coming, most of social media is doing it. They are telling them off the record in the bathroom.
Right.
But it's getting out now.
It's getting out.
And so, I think the black leaders need to understand they need to provide for their family.
Yes, sir.
Therefore, we have to be wise
Right.
in the way we handle that.
That's right. That's right.
Any closing comments from anybody?
I do want to shout out G.B.R. He came all the way here from Hinesville
Come on. Black Fist
with Black
Motivation.
Fist Motivation.
Okay.
Thank him for coming. He
What
came
you
all
call
the
that
way
group?
from Hinesville. Black Fist Motivation.
What is that, my brother?
So Black Fist Motivation is a group that myself, a non-profit organization that myself and my brother started. We do social media. We got a pretty big social media following now, and these kind of stories that we need. We speak on all of this. We speak on injustice. We speak on hate. We speak on everything, from police brutality to these killings to any and everything. There's things like this that needs to be out here. We have 1, 2, 3. We got Black Panther Party. We got a concerned citizen, and we got a pastor out here. I counted about 37 people out here. 37 out of a town of about 25,000. We need more people out here. Brittany has been on it every day.
Yes.
Every day since the killing. Every day since the killing. I shared it out. Video got thousands of views. Video went viral.
And the news outlet still wouldn't pick it up.
Still wouldn't pick it up.
We got over 100,000 views on Media Takeout.
Sure did.
Well, let me say this. Because on my, but I want to hook up with you on my channel, Boston G.B.R.
All right.
But you say how many views?
Over 100,000.
Over 100,000 views. So why is it that the traditional mainstream news media don't want to publish what you all are publishing, proving that the American people want to hear, they want to know, they don't want to be left deaf, dumb, and blind to the times and unable to make intelligent decisions based on fact. So that means, and this is what I say on my channel, why should a black man, woman, his children, or a white right person join the United States Armed Forces and put their life on the line for a country without freedom of the press? Why?
That's right.
That's the question. My beautiful brother, I'm gonna let you close this out.
So
How can we find you on the web?
you can find me at Black Fist Motivation. That's on Facebook and YouTube channel, both of them at Black Fist Motivation. You can find my personal page at Gene-Woe, that's G-E-N-E space W-O-A-H. That's where you can find me at. Like I say, we do this all the time. We got thousands of videos, and we actually like for people, and we want people to send us stories like this, just as Brittany has done, so we can get more political coverage, more news coverage out there, because just like you said, the white people ain't gonna do it. So we gotta have our own news.
Thank you very much, Brother Pastor. Closing words.
Yes, sir. We appreciate you, Brother George, for covering what the news media, the traditional news media, would not cover. And I want to say this last thing about police officers, those that sit there and watch their counterpart or their colleague doing something unjust, like what Zechariah Presley did. I think we need to pass a bill through legislation that it's a hate crime for them to sit there and watch another officer do another person in, and they sit right there and watch and did not stop that officer. They are just as guilty as Zechariah Presley. And the other officers in Kingsland Police Department, they knew about this man's record. They knew about his background. They knew about his harassing our community brothers. And I think the blood of Tony Green is on their hand. It's just as it is on the mayor and the chief of police. Tony Green blood cries from the ground. It's on their hands.
All right, my beautiful sister, you said that tonight too. You laid it out like ABC. And as Louis Farrakhan would do it. Some people don't like Farrakhan, but I love the man.
I love him too.
So give us some closing remarks. Then we're going to let Bobby close out and anybody else. Go ahead, my beautiful sister.
I would just like to say that the city council has failed as a whole as far as protecting the community, keeping the community safe,
yes.
and even speaking on behalf of us who are the citizens, we're telling them what we want. We're telling them what needs to be done, and they're completely ignoring us. The bottom line is we just want justice for Tony Green.
And let me commend you again, because as you spoke, my heart was bubbled, my toe was on probation, my mind was so stimulated, I didn't know what to do, so I had to be just infatuated by your words. Come on, my beautiful brother, close us out here.
And even with that said, the two ladies were walking by, and I don't want to interrupt George while he said it. She said, tell her she spoke well.
Yes, yes. And she was a white lady.
Caucasian
That's
lady
right.
that walked by. She
That's
said,
right.
tell her she spoke well.
She did.
And that's what they said. With that said, y'all, I make a lot of jokes about things, but I'm dead serious when it comes to injustice. I can't be here every day with the family and pastors, but I'm always in contact with them, with George, because I travel the country fighting these injustices. I go all over the country doing the same stuff, and I'm getting tired of it. And until we come together as a people, I mean, we got to get it together as a people for each other. Not just on the police killing us. We got to stop the black-on-black crime. We got to stop that black-on-black crimes, and it's got to start at the house. First of all, all these violent movies you're letting your children win. First of all, you'll go, and I got on my sons about this, about my grandbabies. You'll go to the store. You got 1,000 toys in the store. You'll buy them a gun. Right. You'll buy them a water gun. I went to a pool, and all the kids got water guns. So pow, pow, pow. You know what I'm saying? So what you think that teaching your kids? Stop buying your children violent stuff. I seen police officers shot with a cop. The police buying them guns and badges. Mm-hmm. Your kids. They setting your kids up for failure. Stop buying your children violent toys and watching these violent cartoons. That's where it's going to stop at. Black power.
Black power. Black power. Black power, and above all, God power. Amen. Because in the end, amen, truth, right, and justice gonna win.
That's right.
Matthew 24:35 said, heaven and earth would pass away, but my word will stand forever. Black man, black woman, black children stand on the truth, because heaven and earth will stand forever. They'll tell you it's fake news, but fake news will never elevate you. A lie will always go down, as in the days of old. Don't let them fool you and tell you all these games. Even the police officers is going down if they don't have truth in their mind. It's just that simple. And in hell, they're going to lift up their eyes. Truth is more powerful than the atomic bomb. It is more deadly than anything or device that man can create. So black people, stop killing each other and start loving each other. They'll tell you it's fake news, but fake news will never elevate you. A lie will always go down, as in the days of old. Don't let them fool you and tell you all these games. Even the police officers is going down if they don't have truth in their mind. It's just that simple. And in hell, they're going to lift up their eyes. Truth is more powerful than the atomic bomb. It is more deadly than anything or device that man can create. So black people, stop killing each other and start loving each other. Black people, stop killing each other and start loving each other. 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 So black people, stop killing each other and start loving each other.